Good morning and welcome to Stay Crafty York County. I am your host, Judy. I'm a reference librarian at the Rock Hill branch of the York County Library, and today I will be showing you how to make a friendship bracelet. As you can see, it's multicolored, and in the past, a lot of people would just tie them on to be a permanent bracelet. But as a concession for adults, I am showing you how to make it with a clasp and a bead so that you can connect them to take it on and off. So of course the materials that I'm going to need today are some embroidery floss. I've already cut these to the length that I need of approximately 60 inches. Of course, one bead, one hook, and then some useful tools, some tape, and a pair of scissors. I'm going to turn my camera around so you can see what I'm doing as I work. So I've already done the first step of the process. I have folded my length of string in half so that they are even, and I have threaded the lanyard hook onto the string so that it meets in that fold. Now I'm going to tie an overhand knot where you just wrap it around your finger and then pull the lanyard hook through the hole, and then you'll tighten that down as close to the hook as you can, and this will secure the hook onto the end of your bracelet and give you a place to start your knotting. I have already cut a piece of tape, and I'm going to use the tape to secure my bracelet to the working surface. You can also use a clipboard, or what I did as a teenager was pin the hook to my pants and work on my knee. So the knot that we're going to use for this particular bracelet is called the forward half hitch. So you're going to start by selecting your first string, and you're going to work around the remaining strings as you make each knot. You're going to start off by making the shape of a number 4. You'll see here I'm kind of holding it with my two hands. I've got this string over here. You're going to fold, fold the string under and pull it up through the knot. You pull your full length through, and then you're going to tighten that knot up against your forward hand knot. You're going to continue making those same knots with one color of string for about 5 or 6 knots. You do want to make sure that the knots are snug but not too tight. If they're too tight, you'll have to make more knots to fill your space. And then if they're too loose, you'll be able to see the other colors of string underneath your knots. So as you make those knots, just make sure that they line up and they are snug together. So I pull up and across, and I just keep making knots with that same one. Once I have made 5 or 6 knots with that color, I add that color back to my bundle of strings, and I choose the next color that I'd like to work with. So here I'm going to grab the yellow. I'm going to separate off the yellow and continue making my forward hand knots, adding the white string in with the other colors as I go. So here I have 4 colors, so I will continue to change colors until I have used all of the colors. So here I have made the yellow, And then again, to change colors, I just pull the yellow in and decide which color I'd like to use next. So now I'm going to choose the brown. And continue making my knots. And so here I have 4 colors. After I've used all the colors, you can continue in the same pattern or use whatever pattern you would like as you continue down your bracelet. You want to continue making knots until your bracelet is approximately 6 to 7 inches long. And of course, that's going to depend on the size of your wrist. Take into account that the lanyard hook is about 1 inch long. So if you have a smaller wrist, you will definitely want to make sure that you make a smaller bracelet so that it isn't too big. And then I will move on to my last color of black, getting that pulled around to the front, and continue knotting. I will see you back here when I have completed my bracelet to show you how to finish things off. Okay, now that I have almost completed my bracelet, I am going to measure it, and from the end of where I stopped up to the edge of the hook is about 6.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there. Of course, if you don't have a ruler or a tape measure, you can also wrap it around your wrist to see if it's about the right length. When you get to the end, we are going to, as you see here on my other one, make another knot to secure all of the strings together. So again, you just wrap it around your finger, cross all of the strings back and through the hole. So pull all those strings through and then wiggle it down and tighten it right against the end of your bracelet knots. Now, to ensure that our bead doesn't fall off, I'm going to split my string into 2 batches. Doesn't really matter which ones you choose, just as long as you have about half on each, or about half of the half of the strings. And I'm going to feed that through, and I made that a little easier by just folding the strings so that it will go through my bead easily. Now I've got the bead on one side. I'm going to again hold all of the strings together and make another overhand knot around my finger to the back, and then all of the strings through the hole. And you can see I still have a lot of string left over. You like to have long strings just so you don't run out. It's hard to add on to strings if they're too short. So now I have tightened that knot down and my bead is secure on the end of my bracelet. I'm going to take my scissors and trim those excess ends. And I like to leave about 1 inch or so. And of course I would choose the one pair of scissors in my house that are dull. There we go. I like to leave about 1/2 inch or 1 inch of tassel on the end just to make sure that that end knot doesn't come undone. But you want to, pull it as tight as you can. Now you can take the tape off your table and you have completed your bracelet. You can use the little hook to go through the bead to make it into your bracelet. And there you have completed your friendship bracelet. And as you can see here at the beginning, I didn't pull some of my knots all the way tight. So that's what happens when your knots aren't tight enough. You can kind of wiggle them around a little bit to hide that, but it's not about perfection. It's about creating something fun to share with your friends. I hope you have a great day and stay crafty, York County.